I have a lot of footage let's try that again. I have a lot of footage to show today. I've got about 29 minutes worth. I've decided to call today copy and paste because I basically just copied what I did last session. I did add some bits here and there, such as the star jumps, as you can see here. So what happened is, as I was saying yesterday, I wrote on my phone what I did last session, but I also wrote down on paper today, and I wrote down what I did, and I also wrote down some extra stuff, like you're seeing here, the 2-minute star jumps. As you can see, you can see me getting into it slowly but surely, and then I'll lift my arms up higher. It won't look so lazy as I carry on doing it, like you're seeing now. So, as for the session that I wrote down on paper, I put 5 minutes jump rope and made note of the unbroken reps that I did yesterday, the number of unbroken reps. Then I added 2-minute star jumps, and I made a note that I wanted to do this first instead of doing the jump rope first, just to get my body warmed up, because it being the jump rope can make my calves a bit tight, as I experienced today. And then for the main exercises, 4 sets of 10 reps, take it or leave it, 1 set of 10 reps, ab wheel rollouts, 1 minute starfish plank, 2 sets of 20 reps leg raises, and then 3 sets of 10 reps on flutters, and then 3 minutes jumping jacks to cool down, and the 30 seconds rest between each set, and 1 to 2 minutes rest between each exercise. The last 3 things that I just mentioned, I didn't do in yesterday's session, but I wrote it down on paper for me to do today. I didn't do the 3 minutes jumping jacks cool down, but I did do some cool down stretches. And as for the flutters and the rest periods, I did do those for each exercise. And there's one exercise that I didn't mention earlier. I did some leg raises using the table to help me. I put my arms on one of the table legs. I remember being shown that exercise before, and I thought, no, I'm not going to end the session here. I'm gonna call it down, because I wanted to do an extra 2 sets of 1 minute elbow planks, but I only did 1 set of 30 seconds elbow planks because it was a challenge, man. This training session was a challenge, but that's the whole point of it, though. We do the challenge, we go from it, and then we increase the intensity. But yes, as I was saying, I wrote what I just said earlier was all of the exercises that I wrote down to do. So let me tell you everything that I did in reality. First of all, I did the 2-minute star jumps. Then I did the 5 minutes jump rope. Then I did the take it or leave it. I broke the last set of 10 reps into 2 sets of 5. I did 4 sets of 5 reps ab wheel rollouts. I did 1 minute starfish plank. And then I did a 30-second elbow plank. I didn't do the leg raises. I did do 3 sets of 10 reps flutters, with both feet going up and down as 1 rep. I didn't do the jumping jacks, but I did do some cool down stretches, as you'll see at the very end of the video. And I did do the 30-second rest between each set and 1 to 2 minutes rest between each exercise. To sum up this session overall, I got an absolutely massive pump on my abs, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was a challenge, but I enjoyed it. I liked it so much I went to the mirror to go and look to see what my abs would look like after. Yeah, it was that nice a session today. But that's what you get when you copy and paste what works, eh? I did change some things here and there, which I did specify, comparing this session to last session, but it was basically the same thing. And I'd say it went just as well, if not slightly better. But at the moment, I'd be inclined to say this session went just as well as the last one. It was basically the same cold, bright weather, same exercises, and so on. But for the jump ropes, as you can see here, I'd say that actually went better than yesterday because I was able to practice my form. During nearing the end of the jump rope part, I do 10 reps on both feet, then 10 reps on one foot, 10 reps on another foot, and then I'd switch between those reps. And I noticed when I was doing that, I jumped less, so I wasn't jumping as high, and that made I think from experience that made my jumping more efficient when skipping the rope. I forgot to mention that on the notes I made on my phone and also the notes I made on the paper, I gave myself some tips from yesterday, which is to train outside and to train with the intensity of yesterday's session or at a high intensity to have what I'd call a productive session at this point in time. It won't stay that way, provided I keep on doing these exercises, which I will do every single day, but it will do for now. Now I'm going to talk about each exercise one by one and explain how I think each one went. For this jump rope here, I think I've improved from yesterday because, as I was saying, I was able to jump lower. I was able to jump lower by practicing my form, doing reps on both feet and then on my left foot and on my right foot as well. It was initially uncomfortable at first on below the joints of my big toes when I was skipping rope, when I was only doing it on both feet, but that feeling went away. And I also remember a feeling of tightness in my calves, which I think I spoke about earlier. But as I'm doing the voiceover, that's now gone away. Yeah, as you can see, I'm doing reps on one foot, doing reps on another foot, on the other foot, and then doing reps on both feet, as you can see. As for the star jumps, I've spoke about them earlier. I didn't do them in yesterday's session, but it's certainly worth doing now to really get the body warmed up and ready to go. That's less of an intense exercise than skipping rope is, so all the more reason to carry on doing that as the very first exercise to start each session off with. And if I don't want to do that, I could try something else that is just as intense, which isn't much, but that's the whole point. When I start a session, I'm not trying to do muscle ups straight off the jump. I can't do them yet, but that's what this entire journey's for, and I will be able to do them. I'll carry on doing these sessions, and I'll work my way up. There. As for the take it or leave it exercises, that was a challenge, and just like it was yesterday, so much of a challenge I broke up the last set of 10 reps into 2 sets of 5 reps. I really felt a crunch when putting the ab wheel on and taking it off, which is the exercise really. And I think from memory that could be a harder. It would give me more of a pump than it would just doing ab crunches without the wheel. It may not look like much, but it certainly is more of a challenge to do crunches with the ab wheel than without. As for the rollouts, I did 4 sets of 5, as I said. I really tried to go as far out as I possibly could with each rep, especially during the last sets, as you can see me about to do here. Yeah, you will see as I progress through the rollouts, I really try and go as far as I can. And I'd say because I focus on that more nearing the end of the rollouts, I've probably been able to go further than I ever have been able to. Absolutely loved it. I did feel some, a very little bit of pain maybe in my spine, but that could be because in my lower spine, because potentially because I'm not doing the exercise with completely proper form. And sometimes, to be fair, that would be supported by the fact that I drag my arms back during some of the reps. I don't quite know how, but that's reminded me of the pump that I got in my pecs when doing this exercise as well, especially my left one. That could be because I was doing the rollouts very slightly positioned to the left, then in the middle. I did try and correct this by keeping it in the middle of, I don't really know how I'd say it, just instead of positioned to the left, I positioned it to the centre, so I go straight out instead of very slightly to the left. Yeah. I think positioning the elbow very slightly to the left, as I could have been doing without realising, is potentially the reason as to why I felt my left pec working a lot more than my right. And my chest after this certainly looks bigger than it usually would, I'd say. Seeing as I went to go and look in the mirror, I really like this session and I like the progress I'm making in my abs because of it. But to be fair, my abs are going to look bigger immediately after the session because I've worked them out, compared to if it's a while and then I go and look. But sooner or later, I keep pushing. My abs are going to show more than they ever have done. That was one of the main goals that I had during my body transformation journey, which I'm still undergoing. It's been over 5 months since I started, and I've spoken about this journey in previous logs. I don't remember which day in particular or days, but I certainly know I have. But yeah, it's been over 5 months and I've made a lot of progress. I'm going into uncharted territory, really. As for the starfish plank, there's not much to say about this one, really, because my shoulders weren't aching. I did feel my core a bit, but that was more my back than my abs. And then, as for the 30-second plank, I decided to wait maybe 15 seconds or so between the starfish plank and the elbow plank. And I had the intention to do 2 sets of 1 minute elbow planks, but I only did slightly over half a minute, like 32 seconds. And I think that was because I waited only 15 seconds or so in between the starfish plank and the elbow plank as to why I did that, along with the fact that I was looking at the time, the recording time on the phone. Looking at the time didn't help. I didn't do the leg raises, as I said. I did the 3 sets of 10 reps on the flutters. This, in a way, reminded me of the bench press, actually, because of the arching of my back. I noticed that when I was doing each flutter rep. I'd say, really, when you do this sort of exercise, you do it for like a minute straight or something, but I didn't think of that when writing this exercise down, for one, and for two, I've already done quite a bit of training beforehand, so I don't think it would matter all that much. The 30 seconds rest between each set and 1 to 2 minutes rest between each exercise I did, and I think that could have been a part of why the exercise was all the more challenging for me than it would have been if I took like 5-minute breaks, or just breaks that were as long as I wanted it to be. But I don't want to do that anymore because I'm trying to I'm doing what it takes to have productive sessions. Not trying, I'm doing what it takes to have productive sessions, and waiting for so long between each set, not even exercise, each set is going to steer me in the opposite direction of having a productive session. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. For future reference, copying and pasting works. It works. So I'm going to carry on doing what I've done today, yesterday, or at least very similar to it. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoy the rest of the footage. Bye.